In this video, I'm going to go over the working above rearranging equations test. So you can go over your work and see where you've made your mistakes. You'll be sent your score separately. Right, in the first one, we had to make t the subject of the formula. First thing you need to do is multiply by the denominator. Expand, so we have 4p plus pt is equal to 3 minus 2t. Get all your t's together, so pt plus 2t is 3 minus 4p. Factorize by taking t out to give me p plus 2 is equal to 3 minus 4p. And t is therefore equal 3 minus 4p over p plus 2. So multiply, expand, get all your t's together, everything else to the other side, factorize, and divide. Right, next one, make t the subject again of this one. So first I'm going to do is expand, dt minus 2t equals 4t plus 7. Get all my t's together. Now I've got more t's here, so it makes sense to get them to this side. So 4t plus 2t, and this side will be 2d minus 7. This one we can actually do something with because 4t plus 2t is 6t. So that leaves us with t is equal to 2d minus 7 all over 6. Right, question 3. P, the subject. So, first thing I'm going to do is take the 4 across. Now I need to get rid of the 3. Now to get rid of a square, we need to square root. Remember, there are two options when you square root something. There is the positive and there is the negative. There you go. Plus or minus the square root of y plus 4 over 3. Right, and that's the first 3 questions. So, in terms of marking, you get 1 mark for multiplying across, 1 mark for getting all your t's to one side, 1 mark for factorizing, and 1 mark for the final answer. 1 mark for expanding, 1 mark for getting the t's together, 1 mark for the answer. 1 mark for getting the 4 to one side, 1 mark for dividing by 3, and 1 mark for the plus or minus. You will not get the mark if your plus and minus is not here. You would just lose that last mark. Right, question 4 then. Same thing that we did before. So, take the denominator to the other side and we get y x squared minus 7 equals x squared plus 9. So if I expand, it's x squared y minus 7y equals x squared plus 9. Everything containing x squared to one side, everything else to the other. Factorize by taking out x squared. And then dividing. And this one requires an extra step. It's a squared. We don't want a squared. So that means x is the square root of 9 plus 7y over y minus 1. And there's got to be a plus or a minus. So 1 mark for taking it across, 1 mark for isolating and factorizing, 1 mark for dividing. So let's go 1 mark for taking it and multiplying it across, 1 mark for isolating and expanding, 1 mark for dividing, 1 mark for the answer. Right, this one, factorize, 2 brackets, 2x minus 3, 2x plus 3. That's either right or wrong. This one, get all my m's together. So I'm taking my 5 to this side and taking my 3m to that side. There's my first mark. Then I need to factorize. There's my second mark. And then I need to divide. Oh, sorry, didn't realize that was out of the shot. So, first take your m's all together to one side, factorize, and divide. Now you'll notice that I took them to this side because I prefer dealing with positives rather than negatives. Right, question 6. Okay, simplify. So what we're going to need to do is factorize the top and the bottom. So we need a 2x and an x, a 3 and a 1. We need minus 6x plus 1. The bottom, x and x. What times what gives me 6? Well, it's 6 and 1 because they've got to subtract to give me 5. So 6 and 1 plus 6 minus 1. That's a weird one because it's absolutely nothing that cancels. I'm not sure they thought that one through very well. Let's just double check. That's 2x squared minus 6x plus x is minus 5x minus. Right. I'm wrong. Right, I've got this one wrong because there's a plus here. Right, let's go through the method. So the method says times 2 by 3 to give me 6. What times what gives me 6? It's 2 times 3. Or it's 6 times 1. We need them to add, because we're trying to add a 6 to get 5. So I need 2 and 3. Right, that means I need 2 and I need 3. So I'm going to have 2x squared plus 2x, sorry, minus 2x minus 3x plus 3, split and factorize, gives me 2x, x minus 1, minus 3, x minus 1. So on top, I'm going to have 2x minus 3, x minus 1, and my bottom remains the same. It's x plus 6, x minus 1. Now those two cancel. Now, how I knew I was wrong was automatically nothing here cancelled. And when you've got one of these situations, it always has to cancel. Okay, that was me trying to do it too quickly in my head instead of using the split method. If this confused you, go back and look at the video that I've made on doing the split method here. Right, making m the subject here. Well, the first thing is I've got this horrible situation. So I'm going to make this side one fraction. And how I do that is by multiplying the two denominators together. And to get this to be BV, I've times this one by B. And whatever I do to the top, I do to the bottom. And this one I've times by V, so I times this top by V. Now, this is still no good. So what I can do is a little thing called cross multiplication. I can times this side by R and this side by BV. It's like making the whole denominator BVR. So on this side, I'm going to have R BM minus TV. And on this side, I'm going to have BV M minus T. We didn't give us enough space for this one. So I get RBM minus RTV equals BVM minus BVT. We want M to be the subject, so I get my M terms together. I take everything else to the other side. I take out my M. I don't care about the fact that I could have taken out a B here. RB minus BV, RTV minus BVT, and then I divide. So RTV minus BVT over RB minus BV. That was the hardest one that you've had so far. That really was a toughie. Okay, question 7. This is a genuine formula, by the way, if you ever want to try and work out what Celsius and Fahrenheit is and compare them without using Google. Or Siri. The minimum temperature in algae person should be 20 degrees. Is an algae person temperature in Mr. Smith's family is 77. Whether or not it's lower. So what we've got to do is convert it. So I'm going to use hers, 77 Fahrenheit, and find out what that is in Celsius. So C is equal to 5, 77 minus 32 over 9. Now I don't know if you used a calculator or whether you did this in your head. I'm going to use a calculator. 77 minus 32 is 45, times that by 5, divided by 9, gives me an answer of 25 degrees Celsius. Is the temperature in Mrs. Smith's home lower than the minimum temperature should be? Remember, it should be a minimum of 20, so the answer is no. Right, make F the subject, times by 9, so 9C equals 5F minus, and 32 times 5 is 160. So 9c plus 160 equals 5f. So 9c plus 160 over 5 equals f. Oh, sorry, didn't realize that was out of shot. Now that I thought was a really nice question to end with. So if you manage to get over the hurdle of these two, clearly I had a problem with that one, you get through these two, then at least you've finished with a really nice one. Okay.